evening and welcome to another year of Menlo Knights football. This is Ian Cummings and the Pat Spoon Video Network coming to you live from Terramere Field in Redwood City, where the Knights are about to begin the 1983 season against the Menlo-Atherton Bears, who are definitely looking for revenge after being upset by the Knights the last 2 years. Last year in a most embarrassing fashion, as the Knights came from 20 points down in the fourth quarter, rather 21 points down in the fourth quarter to win 32-27. Certainly this is a new era for the Menlo Knights beginning this year, as their record-setting quarterback John Pay has moved on to Stanford University, and his departure has caused a lot of juggling in the Menlo lineup. At midfield there, you can see Drew Ferrando, number 3. Drew, last year's star wide receiver, leading receiver on the peninsula, will be starting at quarterback this year, much of the time, splitting the time with Ted Weicker. And he will be running an option offense much of the time. You can expect Menlo to run the ball a great deal more than they did last year. Coach Ron Bryant expects Drew Ferrando and halfback Bob Fitzpatrick both to carry the ball 15 to 20 times a game, whereas last time Fitzpatrick may have carried the ball 6 to 8 times a game. Ted Weicker, the other quarterback, is a junior, and he, like Ferrando, has never thrown a varsity pass. And Bryant hopes to play him about a quarter tonight and have him starting by the league season. Don't look for the big play offense from Menlo this year. They're not going to have John Pay winging long passes anymore. It's going to be short passes and runs, trying to pick up little bits of yardage. Menlo's strength this year will again be a strong line. Herbie Ludwig, Brett Challenger, Mike Texito, Peter Meyer, Mark Gustafson, Brady Enright, all returning from last year's line. MA Bears have won the toss. They will receive, going from our left to our right. And MA, as you can see, is pumped up for this game. They've been preparing for this game since last year, says Coach Ben Parks. And one has to think that they aren't going to let Menlo beat them again this year if they can help. They're going to do everything in their power. It's very important to them not to lose this first game for the third year in a row. We'll be getting the kickoff underway in just a couple of seconds, and it'll be Menlo against MA in this 1983 opener. Menlo crowd on the other side, across the way. Incidentally, it's not as big a crowd as we would have had last year, as we did have last year. Not nearly on either side. MA has not yet started school, so that may affect their support. Deep for MA, Jim Bamberg, and number 40 is David James. Eric Hagestad to kick for Menlo. He's a newcomer as a senior. The kick is away. This is James feeling it at about the 17. And he's got a hole, and there's only one more man to beat him and bring him down at the 48. I believe it was John Kang on the tackle. And immediately MA comes out with good field position at the Menlo 48. MA is the line. Quarterback is number 12, Adam Tennant. First year starting. And there's a mix-up as the play gets underway. Tennant has to keep the ball. It goes for only a yard before being stopped at the 47. Second and 9 for the Bears. Menlo's corners line up deep. 10 yards off the ball is John Kang. And on the other side is Fitzpatrick. And the second man through is nailed by Ludwig as he picks up only about a yard. That was Jones. And it'll be 3rd and 8. And the Menlo defense has held well on the first 2 plays from scrimmage here. 3rd and 8, MA in their first passing situation. Coach Bryant was expecting them to pass quite a bit tonight, and he was expecting the blitz to try to counteract that, and the pass is complete. And down to the 29-yard line is Mark Robinson. Or rather, Bruce Shadorf, I should say, the tight end. And he picks up a first down for MA at the 29, so that's a pickup of 17 on the pass. MA lines up in the T. And the give goes to Jones coming around the right side, and he's got all sorts of room. Kang's the last man, and Kang brings him down along with number 56, who wasn't listed in Menlo's roster. But a big pickup for Jones as he goes down to the 13 and picks up another first down for the MA Bears. 56 from Menlo looks like John Whelan. He's listed as 55 in their roster. This time the give goes to David James, looking for a hole around the left side and doesn't find it. Gang of tacklers, John Randall in there on the tackle, along with Herb Ludwig and Ferrando. Only a short gain, call it 3 yards for David James. 2nd and 7 for the Bears. Meyer, Ludwig, and Tuxedo are the down linemen for Menlo. And Tennant's in trouble. He's being chased by Randall, and Randall's got him. Randall throws him for a loss back at the 22-yard line. Call that a 10-yard loss in the sack as Tennant tried to escape by running backwards and just got himself in more trouble. It'll be 3rd and long now for MA. They mark it at the 20, so call it a loss of some 8 yards. Tennant's in trouble again, and he's caught at the line of scrimmage. Peter Meyer there on the tackle, and it's going to be 4th down for MA. Tennant leans forward to about the 17, getting back almost the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th and about 13, 14 yards now for MA. Big play coming up for Menlo's defense. 4th and 14, long 14 for MA. Tennant has completed 1 pass in 2 attempts. He's been sacked twice. Throws over the middle, it's complete, but it won't get the first down, and Menlo will take over. Tennant to Shadow. From the 7-yard line, Ferrando rolling out left. He has the option to run. He throws, and he gets Gustafson. Gustafson is brought down by the collar around the 19-yard line, but Menlo may have a first down on the first play as Ferrando completes his first pass. So Drew Ferrando on the rollout completes his first varsity pass. This time the pitch goes, and it's Fitzpatrick going around the right side. He's got a couple good blocks. Oh, but someone's gotten through. Bob Heron gets through and catches Fitzpatrick right about the line of scrimmage. From here, it looked like he was going to have a hole around the right, but he loses a yard. On that first defensive series, Menlo did a great job of holding MA down near their own goal line. And if they can get something rolling, get the first points on the board tonight, that'll be really important. Vital for them, as a matter of fact. If they get down as they did last year, they don't have the kind of attack to overcome a 15 to 20 point deficit the way the John Pay-led Knights did last year. Now there's flags all over the place as MA jumped the line, and it should be an offsides call against the Bears. Offsides against the MA Bears will be 2nd and 6 now for the Knights from the 24-yard line. It's very difficult to tell the yard lines at the ends of the field tonight. So many of the yardage distances will be estimates. Now Ferrando's going to try to run. He gets a good block from Fitzpatrick, and he's taken out of bounds up around the 30, 31-yard line. And again, it may be good enough for the first down. Ferrando running that rollout well the first 2 times they've done it, and he got a great great block from Bob Fitzpatrick that time to spring him to get the first down. Menlo-Atherton considered one of the favorites for the Peninsula Athletic League this year, which is rather interesting and ironic because the same thing was said last year when they finished 1-9. And the pitch on the option goes to Fitzpatrick, and he's brought down after picking up about 5 yards to the 36. And thus far, Menlo has looked surprisingly impressive and has held their own against the MA Bears. On 2nd and 5, after a 5-yard pickup by Fitzpatrick from the I formation, it goes to Fitz again. And this time Fitz runs into a wall, picks up a yard, maybe 2, over right tackle. And it should be 3rd and 3. And a big play for Menlo coming up, seeing if they can pick up that short yardage on 3rd down. They haven't had a 3rd down play yet. Third down and 3. Fulte Collins in motion. Ferrando rolls left, gets a block from Collins, and he throws, and he's got his man. That's Fitzpatrick again. Ferrando to Fitzpatrick, good for the first down at the 49-yard line. An 11-yard gain. So far, Ferrando and Fitzpatrick have been the offense, except for one pass to Mark Gustafson. Lance Whitcomb is a newcomer at wide receiver. He's just going out now, number 20. Yet to catch a pass. He's a senior, first-year player. Coming into the game, Brian Baglietto, a sophomore. He's the wide receiver on the left side. Gustafson to the right. Enright and Fitzpatrick, the backs. Enright, the fake to Enright. Ferrando's got a hole. He's got speed. And Ferrando all the way down to the 30-yard line. Ferrando a 21-yard pickup, maybe more as he got outside. Ferrando's speed will be a definite asset. Already you can tell this year that his speed will come into play a great deal for Menlo on that option play, and it may make it an effective offense. "20-yard pickup for Ferrando. He's got 2 carries for 27 yards. Menlo's really been creating some holes on those outside runs. Again on the rollout. Again, he's got Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick goes out of bounds at the 13 or so, and the coverage in the MA secondary thus far has been shoddy at best. Every time that Ferrando has looked for a receiver, he's had a man that's had about 2 yards on whoever's been covering him. The play goes down to the 13, call it an 18-yard pickup, and another first down for Menlo. Fitzpatrick was one of Menlo's leading receivers last year, averaged more than 15 yards a reception coming out of the backfield. This time on a drop back, and it's Collins, the tight end. And Ferrando completes it inside the 5-yard line, and Menlo is knocking on the door. Now they're measuring. It was a 10-yard pass from Ferrando to Collins. And the measurement shows that Menlo has a couple of inches to go for the first down. Down around the 4-yard line, I believe. Second and inches from inside the 5. Inside of 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and Menlo on a long drive. Ferrando rolling out. He's got room on the left side and doesn't get in, but does get the first down, and Menlo is going to have first and goal to go. Holding on the last play nullifies Ferrando's gain and sets Menlo back to the 19, where they're going to have 2nd and 15 yards to go. Tough penalty for the Knights to take. Collins in motion. Pitch to Fitzpatrick. He's looking to pass, He's got a man, Gustafson, but he overthrows him. Gustafson turned to the inside. It looked like maybe Fitzpatrick was expecting him to go to the outside. And now it's going to be 3rd and 15 for the Knights. Strong side right formation lined up in the left hash mark. Ferrando rolls out. Pitch goes to Fitzpatrick. He's not going to pick up 15. There's a swarm of MA tacklers around him. And they get him after a pickup of only about 2 yards. Menlo will be faced with 4th and long. 4th and about 13 yards to go for Menlo here. They've had an impressive drive so far. They're going for the halfback option again, and it goes across to Ferrando. Ferrando pitching to Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick had him wide open but overthrew him. MA will take over, but an impressive drive for Menlo from deep inside their own 10-yard line, moving it all the way to the MA5 at their deepest penetration, and thus far you'd have to call it impressive statistics for Drew Ferrando on that first drive. He was 4 for 4 for 52 yards passing. Will make everyone forget John Payette. And the give goes over the left side, and the ball's loose, and Menlo's on it. Menlo's on the ball. Ferrando on the recovery at the 23. He's doing everything going both ways. And perhaps MA has got a little too much adrenaline going, and they're a little too pumped up, trying too hard to do everything by themselves. Been talking a lot about MA's adrenaline, but then again, Menlo has come into this into this game the underdog once again, and that always gives a bit of a psychological edge to that team. Fitzpatrick on the carry picks up 2 yards. A pattern has already emerged in Menlo's running game. Outside it's effective, inside it has not been thus far. Ferrando rolling out, being chased, and wisely throws it away. Drew's really played a smart game so far. He's completed his first 4 passes, and right there he didn't have a man and wisely threw it away, not risking the interception when Menlo has good field position. Third and 7 from the 20. Lone setback is Enright. Ferrando on the roll left. He's got a man chasing him from behind he doesn't see, and he's going to take it on his own. And he goes out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of a couple yards, and Menlo again is going to be faced with 4th and long. Looking at the roster, 55 is John Whelan. I can see him on the field, so we still don't know who number 56 is. Chris Rubin over the ball at center. Ferrando, straight drop back. This time he's rolling left. He's got some room down the left sideline if he can get one more block, and he doesn't get it. And he's going to fall short of the first down after picking up about 7 yards, but MA is going to take over again. Menlo-Atherton from the 13. And the give goes the first man through, and again, he's stopped immediately. 48 is Charles Smith. Second and 9 for the Bears from the 14. And into the line. Emma is sending it straight up the line. Coach Bryant was really expecting them to pass it more, and so far they've been reluctant to. Again, that's Charles Smith, and he picks up maybe 1-2 yards. First quarter has come to a close, and a well-fought battle here. Menlo and MA both sustaining at least one long drive, and neither managing to score. So after a 1 quarter of play, it's MA nothing and Menlo Knights nothing. Punted for MA there, and it traveled some 30 yards. Drew Ferrando returned it for about 15, and Menlo takes over with good field position at the MA 45. Only 1 minute into the first quarter here. Gustafson in motion. The pitch to Fitzpatrick. This time he's running it, gets the block from Meyer, but is tripped up, and there's a flag on the play as Fitzpatrick picks up about 2 yards before being taken down.
How are you? It's gonna get nailed.
Still discussion over the penalty. It appears to be against the Knights. Illegal motion before the play sets the Knights back to the MA 49, 1st and 15. Fitzpatrick on a deep drop. He's looking for a screen. Something's gone wrong. He doesn't have a man. Now Fitzpatrick on the left side. And Bob does a great job getting it past the line of scrimmage and actually picking up some 7 yards in that play. Ferrando looked as if he was expecting to go to Enright on the right side, and he was screened off from him. Fitzpatrick was an outlet on the left, and it picks up 7 yards. Second down and 8 now from the 43. Long 8. And Fitzpatrick is sacked. He was looking for Gustafson to turn in. There seems to be some problems on the play calling. Ferrando and his receivers, I keep calling him Fitzpatrick, it's Drew Ferrando, a quarterback, seem to have different ideas about what pattern should be run. 3rd and 11 for the Knights now. Ferrando rolling out, he's in trouble, he gets away. There might have been a clip, but there's no call. Drews gets away again, and finally is brought down. Great effort by Drew Ferrando, but he couldn't avoid 6 or 7 MA tacklers, and eventually is brought down for a loss of some 13 yards. Menlo will have to get rid of the ball. Ferrando to punt. Jimmy Bamberg deep for MA. Takes it on a bounce and is hit hard by Fulte Collins and refuses to go down. Mike Tuxedo finally wrestles him to the ground. Little tussling going on there, but nothing serious, and MA will take over at their 30-yard line. Split formation. And going around the right side, Jones again, listed as S. Jones in the on the roster, picks up about 3 yards. M.A. Reuters below, yelling for a pass. And Tennant looks like he may have had a broken play, and there's flags down on the tackle as Tennant is brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Enright and Challenger, among others. Menlo has declined the holding call as Tennant was thrown for a 3-yard loss. And let's see if M.A. succumbs to the pass this time. Tennant with a straight drop. He's looking long down the left side, and he's overthrown number 80, David Oliver, and he seemed to be under it, but brought his hands in thinking he didn't have a chance. He may have had a chance to grab that ball. Scott Watchhorst and Warren Moon, I believe, on the coverage there, and there's another flag down. That was Eric Hagestad on the coverage, but there was a penalty called on Menlo. Moves the Bears to their 45, and going long again is Tennant, and he overthrows his man. Mike King, who's an all-league hurdler, has exceptional speed, but he couldn't catch up with that pass. No one could have. 2nd and 10 from the 45 for the Bears. Now it's Fitzpatrick and Kang are the cornerbacks. Enright and Ferrando the safeties. And a great rush by Herb Ludwig and Peter Meyer rushing in there to dump Tennant for a loss of some 5 yards. Meyer is 75. I believe I referred to Mike Tuxedo as Meyer earlier. Mike Tuxedo is number 72. And that'll be 3rd and 15. Thus far tonight, both teams have displayed either a very strong rush or a porous offensive line. I'm not sure which. This time Tennant throws a very poor pass into the flat intended for David Oliver, and it's incomplete, and MA will be faced with 4th and 15. And after good initial drives by both teams, the offenses have bogged down considerably here in the second quarter. Bears to punt from their 40. Ferrando backs up to his 27. And he's got a man to beat and brings it back to the 35. So an 8-yard return by Ferrando. And Menlo will take over at their own 35-yard line. Gustafson coming in motion. Whitcomb on the far side. Ferrando goes to Whitcomb, and it's trapped. No catch for Lance. He was looking for his first varsity catch there, but Drew threw it into the ground, and Lance couldn't come up with it. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Knights. Menlo comes to the line after using their second time out of the half. 2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick gets a small opening, but it's immediately closed. He picks up only about 2 yards. Menlo can't seem to open the holes going through the middle. The only successful ground game they've had so far is Ferrando on his rollouts. John Whelan and Texida, the linemen on the right side. And a long pass going downfield for, I can't tell, it's Fitzpatrick out of the backfield. And Drew just overthrew him, but displayed a good arm, throwing that from his own 30 all the way to the MA 30 or 25, so a good 40, 45 yards in the air there. Peter Meyer, Herb Ludwig, lineman on the left side. And Ferrando unloads a high, short kick, but he gets a great bounce, gets an extra 10 yards off the bounce. And again, a flag falls down as the punt is rolling dead at the MA 29. So a 36-yard punt by Ferrando. I'll have to see what the flag is about. They're talking to Menlo, so it might be against the Bears. Penalty on the kick, blocking below the waist on Menlo man coming downfield by MA. And it's a big break for the Knights as it moves the ball into MA territory. They get the ball back 1st and 10 at the MA 49. That could be a big break because there's only 4:55 remaining in the quarter. Menlo still has time to drive for a touchdown or drive for some kind of score to open this game up. Ferrando's got room on the roll left. He breaks a tackle. And Drew picks up a first down, running for 13 yards, another flag down. The flags are flying every play now. And MA is really hurting themselves here in this last 30 seconds. An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the run by Drew. Ferrando has moved the ball to the 25 of Menlo. So a 10-yard pickup for Ferrando. A 15-yard penalty makes it a 25-yard gain. Menlo's now moved the ball 40 yards with only 10 yards as a result of their offense. Drew on the rollout has to duck back to the line of scrimmage at the 25. Had Fitzpatrick behind him. Good example of a outside lineman, defensive end, doing his job there as the MA defensive end covered Fitzpatrick, preventing Ferrando from having the option to pitch out, and Drew had to eat the ball. On 2nd and 10, bootleg going to the left. Drew's got some room. Gets by, oh, he doesn't get by one man. He's brought down. A nice tackle over there. But still, Ferrando picks up about 7 yards on the carry, and Menlo will have 3rd and 3 or 4 yards to go. Looks like an 8-yard gain for Ferrando on that play. From the I formation now. Give goes to Fitzpatrick, the second man through. And again, not much room, but this time it's enough to get the first down as Fitz carries to the 14. A 3-yard pickup and a first down for Menlo. Bob Fitzpatrick has really been having trouble finding a hole over those tackles, which is interesting because the tackles are Herb Ludwig and Peter Meyer, who were both tackles last year. So it must be that MA's defensive line has improved. This time the pass to Gustafson gets Menlo near the goal line, down to about the 3-yard line, and that looks like another first down. So the Knights are on the 3-yard, call it the 4-yard line with first down, and they're knocking on the door, threatening to score first here late in the second half. The handoff goes to Fitzpatrick, and he drives towards the goal line, doesn't quite get in. But they're knocking on the door. 2:45 remaining in the first half. A 2-yard pickup for Fitzpatrick. His longest of the night has been 3 yards and 8 carries. Ferrando on the rollout, trying to duck inside, and he's in! And the Menlo Knights have gone on top. 2:12 remaining. Ferrando rolls out 2 yards, and the Knights lead 6-0. And I can't imagine what Ben Parks and the MA Bears are thinking now. They really seemed confident that they had prepared well for this game and that they were ready. They still have plenty of time, of course, but they said they've been preparing for this game since last year, and perhaps the change in Menlo's offense is definitely this veer and option is not something that they would have seen last year. Going for the 2-point conversion. Ferrando rolling out and throwing, and no catch. He threw it a little low. Fitzpatrick had to dive. He was covered well, and Menlo cannot convert. But with 2:12 remaining in the first half, the Knights have gone on top. They lead the MA Bears 6-0. Eric Hagestad to kick off for the Knights. James Keys and Charles Smith, the deep men for the Bears. Hagestad takes only a 4-yard approach to his kickoff. Gets away a short kick. And Keys fields it around the 19-yard line. And he breaks a tackle. He's going to go all the way, no question about it. Keys had just one tackle to break. Scott Watchhorst in futile pursuit. That's an 81-yard kickoff return. A great wedge built up by the Bears coming through. Keys only had to run right past one man who got arms on him. I couldn't tell who it was, but from then on it was clear sailing. And suddenly the MA Bears, without having to generate an offense, have tied this game up and have a chance to take the lead. Well, for the second straight year, a long kick return for a score by the MA Bears. Last year, Ken Jones returned a punt that seemed to have put the game out of reach. Steve Kantz, the kicker for the MA Bears, trying to put MA on top. And now Herb Ludwig jumps off sides. He's claiming that someone drew him off. This could be a costly penalty. If it's against the Knights, it could move the Bears to the 1-yard line, and they might have a chance to go for 2 points from there. An illegal procedure penalty against the Bears has set up what is essentially a 25-yard extra point try. Kantz puts it up, and a strong foot. He had about 15, 20 yards to spare on that. And now, with 2 minutes left in the first half, the MA Bears have gone on top 7-6. And Steve Kantz really pounds the ball. Fitzpatrick juggles it, picks it up at the 5. Sometimes that'll throw the team covering off a little, but it doesn't this time, as Bob only brings it back 10 yards to the 15-yard line before being smothered. Menlo will take over there. And Wright and Fitzpatrick still at running back. The only two have been in thus far. Ferrando on the rollout looking for a man, can't find anyone. And he's dragged down. Ferrando dragged down a good 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage there. He had Whitcomb running a fly pattern down the left side, but he was well covered. 2nd and 15 from the 10-yard line. Handoff goes to Fitzpatrick, and the hole closes quickly. Bob picks up about 3-4 yards back to the 14-yard line, called a 4-yard gain. They give Fitzpatrick a 5-yard pickup. It's 3rd and 10 for Menlo, and they try to run it over the left side. Doesn't get anywhere. There's 6 seconds remaining in the half now. Menlo is just trying to run out the clock. They didn't want to risk an interception. Ferrando to kick. He's got to get it away, and Menlo has to have good coverage on this one. And Ferrando puts it out of bounds, so there's still going to be 2 seconds left. MA will have a chance to run one play. One play left in the half. Menlo in the ultimate prevent defense here. The cornerbacks are 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. Ferrando all the way back at his own 20-yard line. Tennant throws up a Hail Mary. Ferrando's there, and he comes down with it for an interception to end the half. So at the end of 2 quarters, the score is MA 7 and the Menlo Knights 6. First half statistics for Menlo. Drew Ferrando passing quite effective, 6 for 9 for 77 yards. Fitzpatrick attempted 2, and both were incomplete. On the receiving end of those catches, Fitzpatrick caught 3 of them for 36 yards. Gustafson 2 for 22, and Collins 1 for 9. And carrying, Ferrando and Fitzpatrick carried the load. Ferrando 11 carries for 25 yards, although Drew would have had a much better total had it not been for 2 or 3 sacks. And Bob Fitzpatrick 10 carries for 21 yards. Total offense from Menlo in the first half, 123 yards compared to only 44 for MA, 23 rushing and 21 passing. They only attempted 5 passes and completed 2, had 1 intercepted. So although Menlo has dominated as far as yards gained, they've only been able to sustain 1 drive long enough to score, and their 1 mess up on special teams let an 81-yard return by James Keys go through for a touchdown, and MA leads 7-6. Menlo Knights across the way, preparing for the second half kickoff. They'll be receiving. On the defensive end, we're working without a spotter tonight, so it's been tough to pick up the tackles, but Herb Ludwig and Mike Tuxedo have been the leading tacklers for Menlo tonight. We're working without a spotter again, so it has been tough to pick up those numbers. 24 minutes to go to see if Menlo can pull out a 3rd straight victory over the MA Bears. 3 years in a row they've been underdogs, and this year they really weren't even given a chance to win by anybody. Even their own coach Ron Bryant didn't seem as confident as he did in previous years, but they've hung in the first half, trailing by only 1 point. Same men in for Menlo, same backs, same receivers. Gustafson is open in the left flat. Gustafson to the 34-yard line, looks like about a 9-yard pickup. Menlo comes out firing, picking up 9 yards. And if Menlo can control the line of scrimmage and pick up the yards that they did in the first half and not have the breakdown on special teams, they have a very good chance to win this one. Gustafson's 3rd catch of the night. Ferrando still at quarterback. I expect actually that if this game remains as close as it is, as that pass bounces off Gustafson's hands up around the 40. If this game remains as close as it is, I expect that Ferrando will stay at quarterback for the remainder of the game. 3rd down and 3 yards to go now for Menlo from the 33, and I don't believe they got it. That was Enright straight up the middle, and Enright stopped at the 35. They're giving him a good mark. They're giving him the 36, and they're giving him the first down. It really looked as if they had he had been stopped a yard short of that, but they gave him a good mark. Menlo first down at their own 36. Brian Baglietto in at wide receiver for Whitcomb. And Ferrando smothered. There was a face mask there, and they get the call. 52 coming in was Berouj Shahab, and he threw Ferrando for about a 4-yard loss, but he grabbed the face mask, and that's going to help Menlo out. Face mask penalty gives Menlo a first down. It's a 15-yard penalty as Ferrando was taken down around the 30-yard line, but the penalty moved it up to the 46. First down for Menlo. Now the flags fly, and the only thing I can think of is delay of game against the Knights will set them back. Knights set back to their 41-yard line. I formation now. Whitcomb back in for Baglietto. Ferrando has got Whitcomb long, and he runs out of time. He has to run out of bounds at the 41. Picks up no yardage, and it'll be second down and 15. Ferrando's quarterbacking job this year is obviously going to demand quite a bit of him physically. Almost every play seems to call on him to roll out, either to pass or to run. About 2/3 of the time, it seems like he is involved in doing one or the other. And this time the screen to Fitzpatrick is well set up on the right side. And Fitzpatrick gets a couple of good blocks, breaks a tackle, and he's all the way down to the MA 43. Great job by Drew Ferrando of letting the MA line come through as he dropped back and finally threw it to Bob Fitzpatrick, and that's a pickup of some 17 yards and a first down for the Knights. Well, unofficially, Drew Ferrando's cracked the 100 yards mark for passing yardage. Getting up to 101. Again, Fitzpatrick met right at the line of scrimmage, trying to run over the middle. Tackle made by Lee Rood on that one, and it'll be second and 10. Second and 10 now for the Knights. Had no success going up the middle tonight. Neither has Menlo-Atherton, and a quick pass over the middle to Baglietto. He couldn't get his second hand up. Only was able to bat it down with his left, and now Menlo will be facing third and 10. Look for Ferrando to run some kind of rollout here on third and 10 from the MA 43. Whitcomb back in for Baglietto. This time it's a straight drop for Drew. He's chased out of the pocket, rolling to his right, throwing, and Gustafson makes the catch, and I think he's just short of the first down. They do give him the catch. Just about a yard short of the first down. Menlo will have short yardage on fourth. They give it a 9-yard pickup. It's fourth and a long one from the 34 of MA. Fitzpatrick is the tailback. Again, Menlo hasn't had any success at all tonight running it up the middle. They try it again, and they get the yardage. Fitzpatrick barrels over the right side behind Tuxedo. And they pick up the first down, a gain of 4 yards to the 30-yard line, and the Knights are on the move. Fitzpatrick picked up 4 yards. It's first and 10 from the 30 now. Knights have had a very efficient drive this time. Ferrando pumping, gets by one man, and he picks up another 10 yards. Ferrando picks up the first down, I believe, down to the 20-yard line. Drew's speed, really an asset. If he can get one block to spring him out there, he can just outrun everyone else. Drew comes up about 2 feet short of the first down on that one. Fitzpatrick in motion out of the backfield. Enright, the lone remaining back. The handoff goes to Enright. He's got a hole over the right side. And he's got the first down, and again flags fly. Have to see what the penalty is, but as of now, the Knights have another first down. Face masking penalty moves the Knights to the 7-yard line. Quick pass into the end zone, and that's Enright, and he's in. Enright went in motion out of the backfield, and Ferrando took a quick drop and threw to the end zone, and the Knights are on top again. Drew Ferrando to Brady Enright for 7 yards in the touchdown. Enright's first reception of the year. Menlo going for 2 again, trying to get back up by 7 points. Ferrando's going to get in easily. Got one good block in the backfield, and that was all he needed. And no one was even near him as he waltzed in the end zone. 7:39 remain in the third quarter, and the Knights have gone on top 14-7. Kick goes out of bounds, and that's a really bad break for Menlo because MA will take over on their own 40-yard line. That's a high school rule if the kickoff goes out of bounds. MA Bears come to the line. They're going to have to improve vastly on their 44 yards of total offense in the first half. Sweeping right is Jones, and he's brought down by Meyer and Gustafson and Enright all on the tackle. He loses a yard, as a matter of fact. Interestingly, the Bears used 6 different backs in the first half. Menlo jumps off sides, apparently, although 2 are drawn off, so may have been some movement in the MA line. As often seems to happen in high school football, the referees have awarded 6 yards for a 5-yard penalty. Tennant going long, and his receivers turned around and can't hold it. Mike King, speedy Mike King, ran by Fitzpatrick, but had to lean back and was almost on his back by the time the pass hit him, and he could not hold on to it. Third down and 5 now for MA. Tennant straight drop, pass over the middle, and overthrows his receiver. And Ferrando really gave a shot to the ribs to Bruce Shadorf. Shadorf has been the only man to catch any passes for MA tonight. MA's play calling or play selection thus far has been really redundant. Almost. It seems they opened up with a couple of short passes early in the game, and since then they've been reluctant to throw. When they have, it's generally been long. Flags down on the kick return as Ferrando brought it back to the 26. Penalty goes against the Knights, sets them back to their own 15-yard line where they will start this drive. 6:36 remain in the third quarter. They lead by 7. And has to wonder what a loss tonight would do to the Menlo-Atherton morale for the rest of the season, going into their league season, which starts next week. Fitzpatrick picked up 3 on that one, moved to the 18-yard line. Ferrando keeping, bootlegging right, and he's going to run it, and he's dragged down from behind by the shirt tails, moves it about 2 yards to the 20-yard line or so. Collins goes in motion from the tight end spot. Ferrando rolling out. He's got Fitzpatrick on the left side, and Fitz is up to the 27-28 yard line, and that's enough for a first down. Menlo's now thrown 17 passes and rushed 30 times. And Fitzpatrick loses the ball and gets back on it. Alert play by Bob Fitzpatrick because he never got a handle on that ball, but they lose about 4 yards on the play. From the 23-yard line, Enright in motion out of the backfield. Fitzpatrick gets a big hole, cuts right, and for the first time all night, Fitzpatrick has some room to run in the secondary, and he takes it to the 33-yard line. Good pickup of about 10 yards. Third down, Ferrando is brought down. A nice tackle there. David James on 3rd and 5, and that's a big play. Menlo will have to get rid of the ball as Ferrando's taken down back at his 25-yard line. Another reason, of course, that the holes haven't been opening for Bob Fitzpatrick as much as they did last year was that last year Menlo ran much less often than this year. And so, of course, the defense is more prepared this year. Bamberg tries to pick up the punt after about 3 bounces and is only able to bring it back about 3 yards. And MA will take over at around their own 43, 44-yard line. Just as was expected, the Knights tonight have ran an efficient offense without getting any real big plays. Their longest play of the night has been less than 15 yards, I believe. And Tennant scrambles for some 8 yards for Challenger. Brings him down along with Hull. Menlo has done an outstanding job of controlling the ball tonight. That was only MA's 4th play from scrimmage in this quarter. On the carry is Charles Smith, and he does not make the first down, picking up 2 yards to the 49. It'll be 3rd and 1. Meyer and Ludwig in on the tackle there. .2:15 remain in the 3rd quarter now. 3rd and 1. And a bit anxious there, right guard Gus Gamba of MA, and that's a big play because where MA was going to have 2 plays to get 1 yard, now they've got to go 6. Working from the 44. Tennant, quick draw, throws out to the right side, and that's Bamberg. Bamberg cuts back towards the middle, and Kang floors him with a tough hit at the 46. Bamberg pops right back up. Enright tried to overplay and almost made an interception there, but when you do that after you miss, the receiver's got some room to run, and as happened there. Only a 10-yard pickup for all that running, but it's good enough for the first down. From the Menlo 46, minute and a half remaining in the 3rd quarter. Tannen dropping back again. Going long, Oliver's there, and he makes the catch. No, he loses it. He was at the 10-yard line, he juggled it and lost it out of bounds. Second down, again Tennant goes back. 3 straight times he hits Oliver over the middle. Ferrando brings him down at the 30, call it the 29, a pickup of 17 yards and another first down for MA. MA has suddenly changed their attack. They're going to the air for the 4th straight time. King's wide open, but he's turned around. King went to the outside, and Tennant threw it to the inside, missed him by a good 10 yards, so it'll be second down. Now MA has suddenly gone to the air. The Bears should be throwing more of those slant in, down and in, quick patterns over the middle that they've been effective with tonight. Tennant's got some room scrambling. He's getting out to the left, and he's only got Ferrando. No, that's Hull. Hull brings him down. But Tennant runs for a first down as he beat 3 Menlo tacklers. And it was Fitzpatrick on the tackle, not Hull. Hull was beaten back near the line of scrimmage. 15-yard pickup on that run by Tennant. Handoff goes over the middle. Picks up about 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Gustafson and Meyer both in on that tackle. Around the right side, there's a flag down. Hull makes the tackle around the 5 on James Keys. He's the man who ran back the kickoff.
I told you, watch your ears.
The end of the third quarter, and the score is Menlo 14, MA 7.
Yeah.
Another costly penalty by the MA Bears at the end of the third quarter. A holding penalty set them back to the Menlo 24. On second down, going for King. Tennant fired that pass well. Fitzpatrick on the tackle, but a pickup of some 12 yards, and it'll be third and about 6-7 yards to go. "13-yard pickup. It's 3rd and 5. Cornerbacks up tight. Tennant drops back, throwing for the end zone. He's got Oliver, and he's got a touchdown. Kang throws him down in frustration. There's a penalty, and Kang will probably be penalized for that tackle well into the end zone. As MA has closed the gap to 1, it's 14-13. It's taken MA till late in the third quarter to realize that the pass is going to be much more effective for them against the Knights than the run. Kant's trying to tie the game up, and he does so. 11-10 remain in the fourth quarter of this ball game. And the MA Bears have tied it up at 14. That penalty on John Kang moved the ball for the kickoff to the Menlo 45. Don't be surprised to see an onside kick here. But no, Kant puts it away and puts it through the end zone, and Menlo will have touchback. I'm surprised that MA didn't try an onside kick, as Menlo's best field position still would have been the 30-35 yard line. Mark Gustafson left the game with leg cramps. Mikey Tangsu is in at receiver for him. Brian Baglietto on the far side. Enright goes in motion. And the handoff goes to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick with the big hole on the left side. He gets a block. He's sprung down the left sideline. He's got one man to beat, and another hits him. Finally takes him down with a tough hit, Rob Gaddy. But Fitzpatrick takes it all the way to the 33-yard line, and that's a big gain of 47 yards for the Knights. A great run by Bob Fitzpatrick, and that really gives Menlo some room to work here with 11 minutes left. Fitzpatrick stepped out of bounds at the 47 of MA, but still a 33-yard pickup. Enright hits the line, picks up 2 yards to the 45. Bob Fitzpatrick really showing what he can do when he gets a little bit of a hole. Now it's 2nd and 8 for Menlo. Scott Roth in a tailback now for Fitzpatrick. Ferrando in trouble, avoids the rush, but is finally brought down. But he picks up a couple yards, actually scrambling forward. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 43. 3rd and 9 now for Menlo, as Ferrando's knee went down at the 46. It's really important for Menlo to try to sustain this drive, as MA's passing game has come alive, but Fitzpatrick is taken down after picking up 1 yard to the 45. Bob Fitzpatrick rushing total is suddenly up to 72 yards. A high snap. Ferrando's going to have trouble getting this off, and he can't get it off. He's going to have to take it down the sideline. Tough break for the Knights, as MA comes out with field position 20 to 30 yards better than it might have been. And they will take over at their own 42-yard line. MA calls timeout at their own 42-yard line. There's 8:54 left, and Menlo must be worried now after MA's last drive was very successful with the passing game. On their last drive, the MA Bears threw 6 passes, which was only 1 less than they had attempted for the entire game to that point. on first down. Tennant goes back, throwing to the right side, and he's got Oliver, and Oliver picks up 9 yards, 1 yard short of the first down. Split formation. Again, Tennant goes back on first down and hits King right in the seam there. Watchorse misses a tackle. Ferrando finally brings him down at the 31. That's a pickup of 17. Menlo's getting caught with receivers between their cornerbacks and their safeties in the seam there, and they're getting wide open. Again, Tennant back on first down. And again, he's got a receiver. Bamberg cuts to the inside, brought down by Gustafson, but he gets to the 25, picking up some 6-7 yards on that reception. It's quite amazing that it's taken MA this long to go to their passing game. And coming around the left side is Charles Smith, taken out by Enright. Picks up no yardage. There's a flag down. It's holding on MA. Penalties have hurt them all night. Holding penalty sets the MA Bears back to the Menlo 44 rather. Menlo's blitzing with everyone in Challenger, and Randall gets to Tennant back at his own 48. That's an 8-yard loss. And MA's drive is being killed here by a penalty and a sack. That sack brings up third down and 31 yards to go now for MA. See how effective their passing game could be now. Menlo's bringing everyone again. Randall applies pressure, and Gustafson gets a hand up, knocks away the pass, and the Menlo defense stiffens when it has to here, as MA had moved down to the Menlo 25. Now they'll have to give up the ball, and there's 6 minutes remaining. We're midway through the fourth quarter. Menlo will have a chance to move for the winning touchdown. Can't step punt, and Meyer gets through. And is there going to be a roughing the kicker call? Meyer didn't get a piece of that ball, but apparently there's going to be no roughing the kicker call. And the ball goes out of bounds at 30. Menlo's going to have good field position. There should have been a call on that play. All right, 5:59 remains in this game, and the MA Bears have not looked like PAL contenders, and the Menlo Knights have looked better than expected. Ferrando throws, and he's got Utangsu. Utangsu's got the ball, breaks one tackle. Utangsu down to the Menlo 46. Mike Utangsu in his first varsity game, a big reception. 21 yards on that play, and Menlo moves into MA territory. A 20-yard completion to the 47. Enright in motion. The give to Fitzpatrick over the left side, runs into men immediately, picks up a yard. 2nd and 9. Menlo have to keep running outside or going back to the air. Drew Ferrando's passing statistics on the night have been very impressive. 12 for 21 for 144 yards, no interceptions. Certainly doesn't want one now. Did he hit his man? He did. And that's Utangsu again. Utangsu, a 9-yard reception, and he may have a first down. Mike Utangsu doing a fantastic job in the stead of injured Mark Gustafson. And Ferrando going for Utangsu again and made him reach a little too far for it. That fell incomplete. There's 4:44 left in this game, and Menlo looks as if they certainly are capable of beating Menlo-Atherton Bears 3 times in a row. Ferrando with the lone setback. That's Brian Hull in there now. Ferrando going long for Collins. Collins is there. It's batted away, and there's going to be a flag thrown. That's going to be interference called, and Menlo's going to have great field position down inside the 10-yard line. That's a tough call for a referee to make, as the defensive back was definitely going for the ball, but he did climb Collins' back, and it probably was the correct call. Pass interference call only good for 15 yards, but it moves Menlo to the MA 22. Ferrando rolling right. He's got some running room. And he's taken down, but not until he gets out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Ferrando falls hard on the long jump track, but he's all right. Gustafson back in for Menlo at split end. Ferrando has Gusto, and Gustafson makes the catch, but he falls down in doing so, so it's only going to be about a 2-yard pickup. Menlo's going to have 3rd and 4 yards to go. 3rd down, some 4 yards to go. Enright in motion out of the backfield. The give goes to Fitzpatrick. Squirts over the left side, and I believe he's got the first down. They do. If Menlo scores here, MA should have time to mount a drive on the way back. There's still more than 3 minutes remaining. Fitzpatrick goes over the right side. He gained 4 on the last play. Here he gains about 2 to the 10-yard line, and Fitz is up to 78 yards rushing for the night. Second down and 7 from inside the 10-yard line. Ferrando has Gustafson on the left sideline. Gustafson down to the 5, maybe the 4-yard line, out of bounds, 2:43 remaining. Menlo knocking on the door. Third down and 3 yards to go. It's Fitzpatrick going over the right side. I don't believe he has the first down. And this is going to be a big play coming up if Menlo didn't get it. It's going to be 4th down and could mean the ball game, at least as far as the Knights winning it. About a foot to go for Menlo, and the Knights have called timeout. 2:17 remain in the 4th quarter. Menlo has 4th and a foot coming up at the 3-yard line, and the score is all tied at 14. Menlo's biggest play of the night coming up, 4th down and a foot to go from the 3-yard line. Ferrando sneaks it over, and he's got the first down and more. And he's close to the goal line, no signal. He hasn't gotten in, but Menlo has 1st and goal to go. The ball rests on the 1-yard line with 2:07 to go. It's winding now. Menlo trying to push it over to take the lead. The give goes to Fitzpatrick. He's in. There are flags down. We'll have to see what they're about. Menlo could be on top with less than 2 minutes remaining, but the penalty is against the Knights. That's going to set them back to the 6, and they'll have to try it again. Does run a little more time off against MA if Menlo can push it in here. Utangsu and Gustafson, the receivers. Fitzpatrick tries to get over the right side. He's stopped immediately. Cam Brown on the stop. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Fitz couldn't find any kind of hole there. There's less than 1:50 remaining now. The clock is working against the MA Bears now with less than 1.5 to go. Menlo has 2nd and goal from the 5. Fitz and Ferrando both with 20 carries tonight. Ferrando on the bootleg left side. Can he get one good block? He's going for the corner, and he's stopped short at about the 3-yard line. David James came out of nowhere to hit Ferrando from the right side. Drew's frustrated and down, but now he's getting up. He's not hurt. Ferrando carried to the 3-yard line. It's 3rd down. Menlo has 2 plays to go. Only 1:16 left. Whitcomb back into the ball game. Now Ferrando rolling right, pitching to Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick is brought down at the line of scrimmage. Rob Gowdy there to make the stop. Whitcomb was out there blocking, but he couldn't block all 3 men. And now it's 4th down from the 4-yard line, and Menlo's going to have to go for it. I don't believe they'll try to kick a field goal. We're inside a minute to play. 4th down. Here's the play of the game for Menlo. The clock is running. There are 30 seconds left. Ferrando rolling back. He's got Fitzpatrick open. Fitzpatrick can't hold the ball. Ferrando had to lob the ball, and Fitz was on the run and couldn't hold it. Dropped it at the goal line as he was being pressured from behind, but now there's 26 seconds left. And it looks as if this game will end in a tie, barring some unusual spectacle that happens here. I believe MA has 2 timeouts left. They have 26 seconds. They're going from the 4-yard line. Menlo's blitzing. Tennant back in his own end zone. He's got time. He's going for Bamberg long. And Ferrando and Scott Watchhorse there on the coverage. Second down. If MA attempts 4 passes and can't make it, Menlo may get the ball back yet. That only ran 3 seconds off the clock there. There's still 20 seconds left. 20 seconds remain, and they used 6 seconds on their last play. They have second down now. They want this game badly. I think they'll still try to pass it, try to get something out of this game. No, they run it outside and almost brought down in the end zone. Is he brought down in the end zone? Yes, it's a safety. Menlo has taken the lead. They tried to run a sweep to the outside, and that was Charles Smith. There were about 3 or 4 Menlo tacklers, and now Menlo's come up with a penalty, a delay of game. They'll be kicking off from 15 yards back, but they've taken the lead. There's only 14 seconds left, and they're up by 2. This is incredible. MA has made an incredible mistake here by running the ball on a sweep. If they're going to run it, they should at least run it forward so they can't get caught by a safety. Furthermore, Menlo gets the ball back after a safety. MA is going to have to try an onside kick, but barring some miracle, Menlo has won a game, and it's amazingly similar to the way the University of California just won a game, their opening game this season over Texas A&M. For the second straight year, MA has come apart, has made a serious tactical error, and it's cost them the game. Here's the onside kick attempt, and Kantz really boots it. Randall covers it. Menlo's got it. They've got the game. 10 seconds left. Menlo will just have to run out one play. Amazingly, incredibly, Menlo, for the 3rd straight year, has defeated the MA Bears in another incredible finish. 10 seconds are left, but it'll be academic. Lance Whitcomb, I believe, a little shaken up. John Randall covered that ball for Menlo. It'll be interesting to see what Ben Parks has to say about his play call there that ran the ball in the end zone. I wish I knew who made the tackle on that play, but there were about 4 or 5 Menlo tacklers who were in on it. Charles Smith was forced into the end zone initially by one man and could never get out. The smart thing to do would have just been to plow through that one man and take the loss of a couple yards back to the 2 rather than trying to sweep outside. The clock is running. There's 5 left. And Menlo will just let the clock run out. And that's it. The Knights have won. 3rd consecutive year. The Menlo Knights have been underdogs to the Menlo-Atherton Bears. For the 3rd consecutive year, they have defeated them. And for the 2nd consecutive year, it has been a truly amazing and unbelievable finish. The final score from Terramel Field in Redwood City, the Menlo Knights 16 and the Menlo-Atherton Bears 14. The final score again, as you see, and some last statistics. Drew Ferrando threw for 160 yards tonight. Clock ran out, and that's it. The Knights have won. Third consecutive year, the Menlo Knights have been underdogs to the Menlo-Atherton Bears. For the third consecutive year, they have defeated them. For the second consecutive year, it has been a truly amazing and unbelievable finish. The final score from Terramel Field in Redwood City, the Menlo Knights 16 and the Menlo-Atherton Bears 14.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You did a good job.
Score again, as you see, and last statistics. Drew Ferrando threw for 160 yards tonight.
Good game, Drew. Good game, Drew.
As much as anybody, and I am damn sorry you didn't get in there. But you're gonna go home. You're on the Menlo football team, I'll tell you. And you worked your ass off for 3 weeks. And I'm sorry you didn't get in the game because I think everybody wants to taste Christmas. You deserve it. Go tell those guys Merry Christmas and let's go home. Yeah! That's right. That's the best you're looking at right now. Best quarterback in the goddamn peninsula. Nobody even knew it. I'm going to see about the mountain. If some group playing for You're going to talk to these two guys. Bobby, Tex, come here. How sweet it is, huh? Well, let's get out of this. 4 times we scored this damn game. Good job, Coach. Is there anything?
Get rid of John.
Ready to go, Drew. Ready to go. Who made the tackle?
I don't know. I didn't know we were in the end zone. I was like,
You're going to be sore. Thanks, man.
this is what comes out. You see that? You see that place?
Listen, 1 week. You and Cal.
The only thing would happen
Hey, Xavier, how you doing?
Yeah, I haven't been Let's get out of here. He said.
Hey, baby. Good job.